Hello everyone, I want to do a podcast because I haven't posted a video on this channel in a bloody while. I keep thinking I've got to record a video today for this channel and I never get around to it, so I thought I'd do a pre-recorded podcast for you guys and hopefully get it out the same day as recording it. I wish I had some notes on me to keep me on track with talking, because I kind of want to let this roll on and just natter with you guys, really, just uncut, just me talking, because sometimes that's good. It's better than nothing, isn't it? I won't ramble on for too long, but I just want to give you guys, it's like an update slash discussion, really. Yeah, so there's a couple things that I wanted to get into. First of all, let's talk about Doctor Who first, because obviously, funnily enough, everybody wants to watch Doctor Who on my channel, so we'll just do that. I'm not sure if you guys realise, but this setup, where the camera is, it should be there and facing this wall, as you probably can tell, but my camera, my desk setup right now is in a place where there is nowhere for me to put my camera to look at the backdrop as it is. But I promise you, the whole backdrop's still there, and I haven't replaced it yet with a new backdrop, which I still probably need to do at some point. Yeah, but with that said, let's talk about Doctor Who, because obviously it's confirmed now that it's cancelled. Well, not cancelled. It's been postponed to 2020, Series 12, which is when I heard it was ages ago when I heard the news, and I'm over it now. But it's like, when I heard the news, it really pissed me off, because we'd already waited. Well, we'd waited a whole year for Series 10, which honestly wasn't worth the wait in my opinion. And then Series 11, we waited 9 months between Twice Upon a Time and Woman Who Fell to Earth. I swear it was crazy. It was like, because it was from Christmas till October time, I think it was. Series 11 was, well, at least that's when it started. Yeah, and it just pisses me off how, I don't know, I feel like at least they're being, straight off the bat, like, okay, don't expect Doctor Who this year. I don't know, man. It is annoying and it's disheartening, the fact that we won't get Doctor Who this year again, because that year break between Series 9 and Series 10 was bloody mad. I mean, I know in the midst of my boredom of not having Doctor Who that year, I made this channel, which kind of tied me over for that, but at the moment I'm on like a burnout with Doctor Who. I'm like fatigued, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Like, I want to post Doctor Who content on this channel because I still love the show to bits. I just don't have the drive to pick up a classic DVD and just watch it out of the blue, And as well as that, I don't really have time nowadays. That's an issue that I have with this. And it's a bit disheartening when Doctor Who's been cancelled. I suppose on the other hand of it, it's like I'm not trying to review the episodes, am I? Because I just want to let you know, I am eventually going to review some more episodes of Doctor Who. I just really haven't had time and no one else wants to review them with me. At this point, I'm kind of tempted to just review them on my own. Like the future episodes, like record them and review them live, like I do with others. Except get a lot of them out of the way, because I feel like I am going to still do that podcast that I promised, which covers Series 11 as a whole, and talking about what happened in Series 11 and breaking down the episodes in the podcast. I'm going to do that, I promise. That's definitely going to happen sometime in the next half a year. Because, let me know, because I will willingly go out here and record my review for each Doctor Who episode of Series 11 separately, properly, in depth. Try to structure it in a relatively decent quality of review and get it out to you guys. But if you guys don't want to see that, that's also fine. Just let me know in the comments, because I'm willing to record them on my own. It's just I don't think anyone has time to record these individual episodes, come over and record them, and And as well as that, I don't have as much time to edit videos nowadays, and I have to prioritise. Excuse me, yeah. I have to prioritise what I'm going to edit, what videos are more important to get out. Yeah, I really wish I had more time and more energy to record videos, because every day recently it's just been get home, like do a college assignment or this and that, or getting uni stuff arranged. It's just madness at the moment. Which is why I thought maybe it's worth bringing a solo podcast to you guys now. Starting off with quite a meh note. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Yeah, so Doctor Who, no Doctor Who this year. It's a shame, but at the end of the day, it gives me more time to review Series 11. No, but anyway, yeah. So, yeah, there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Well, as of late, I don't know if you guys want me to, but I think it might be cool if I started talking about other TV shows, reviewing them maybe, or maybe just talking about them in general. Because Walking Dead, man, Walking Dead's been good this year. Season 9, I've been a fan of it. I've quite enjoyed it, considering the fact this is all spoilers, by the way. So if you're not up to date with The Walking Dead, then just block your ears or skip to the time code that I edit on screen or something. But season 9, man, has been brilliant. They killed off Rick. Well, they didn't kill him off. He quit the show. So that's crazy. But then they're bringing in one of the creepiest villains. Somebody knocking in the garden or something. Sorry. Yeah. So they're killing off characters left, right, and center, and it's madness. And it's like, oh, why are you killing off so many characters? And when it's characters like, spoiler warning again, Rick or Carl, or that's when it gets a bit like, oh, come on, stop killing off all the best characters. And it's like, what sort of show do you have left if you kill off all your important characters? And it's like that. But at the same time, it's like, you got to keep things fresh. You've got to kill off some characters, otherwise the show becomes stale. And which is what happened in season 7, debatably. I think season 7 was very terrible. It was terrible. And Series 8 kind of brought it back a bit, but it was like, it still wasn't, as good as, the earlier seasons, like season 4 or 5. Anyway. So, yeah, Walking Dead's been good, man. And, I don't know whether sorry about that. I don't know when this video is going to be out, but, season 9 is coming back soon for episode 9, because they had like a midterm break over Christmas. They have 60 episodes, 8, split them into 2 8s. So the second half of season 9 is coming out soon, and it's coming out Monday for the UK viewers. What is it today? It's the 9th, so the 11th will be for us. Apparently AMC actually broadcast the show like a week early, so that would have been the 4th of Feb. So don't know why that is. I think it's because of the AMC Premiere membership thing that the Americans have. It's a bit annoying though, because half of the people who watch the show will now get to watch the episodes a week early, which is a bit unfair. But anyway, yeah. On to other show. Okay, Game of Thrones is coming out this year. The final season 9. Season 9? No, season 8. Season 8. Never mind. I'm excited for that, because it's going to be the final season of the show, if you guys don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything for that show, because there isn't really much to talk about it at the moment, because it's not come back yet. And we did have over a year off between season 7 and season 8. And season 8, I think, I'm not sure when its release date is, but it's like soonish, I suppose. It's in a couple months. It's dawning upon us. And we've got like 6 episodes this year. And then that's it. Game of Thrones is over. It's a good show, though. I think it's good to end strong. Yeah. I think the thing is that, the difference between Walking Dead and Game of Thrones is the fact that, I don't really see a clear end in sight for The Walking Dead. Whereas Game of Thrones is okay, Game of Thrones, someone's going to win eventually, or everyone's going to die. That's kind of how the show's leading up towards. Whereas Walking Dead is just kind of continuous cycle of just characters dying, new villains coming in, and I think it works to an extent. The Walking Dead does. I think that's good. It's a good formula, and it's the sort of it's good. I think shows that last longer have good formulas. I mean, The Walking Dead, for example, over 50+ years. That's got to mean something, right? But yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of The Walking Dead comics for quite a while as well, and I've and obviously the Walking Dead comics had gone on a lot longer than the TV show has, because the comics are like translating like the comics to the television show. If the television show was up to date in story to the comics, the show would be on what, like season 14 now, I think, maybe 13, 14, and right now it's season 9, so it's like they're a bit ahead. But yeah, let's go on to films, because there's some interesting films coming out this year. Spider-Man: Far From Home is coming out, speaking of Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War came out. I don't think I ever talked about it when it first came out, but it baffled me. Because it wasn't long before, because I found out that Avengers Infinity War was coming out, so I was like, right, okay, I consider myself an avid sort of like Marvel fan, I guess. Like, I love Marvel, but it's like I only really like Spider-Man and like Iron Man, I suppose, and I don't really. It's hard to explain, but it's like when Infinity War trailer dropped, it was like big, and all of my friends watched it, and it's like, oh man, you've got to, catch up on the MCU, and I'm like, what's the MCU? And it's like, oh, it's the expanded universe of Marvel films. And I was like, wow, this is actually really cool how they're building up a whole universe. Some films are better than others. 4-2. No, but some films are better than others, and I think it's cool how they built up it's almost like a soap at this point, like, oh, the next episode of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like, oh. No, but I think it's cool. And the ending of Avengers Infinity War, it's not really a spoiler these days, it's just common knowledge. They killed off half the characters. Avengers Endgame, I feel like them announcing Spider-Man Far From Home is like, wait, so Spider-Man didn't die? Because the directors of, the Russo brothers of, who like run the MCU or something, they said like, oh, Spider-Man Far From Home, it's, set 10 minutes after the events of like Avengers 4, which is like, well, that's a bit stupid. You've kind of thrown away the whole like, oh, is Spider-Man dead? But anyway, I suppose they've got to market, don't they? They've got to market their films. They can't just, not do that. I mean, it's Spider-Man. But yeah. Oh, another film that I'm really excited about, actually. Its director is Jordan Peele, and the only reason why I'm watching this film is, one, because it looks like a really good horror film, and secondly, it's Jordan Peele, the director of Get Out. I don't know if you've watched Get Out, but Get Out's such a good film. I'm not even going to exaggerate. Like, it's so good, because it's such a good screenplay, and it got nominated for 3 Oscars as well, and won 1 Oscar as well. It's just a good film. And the director this was Jordan Peele's first feature film, Get Out was. And when I watched Get Out, I was like, oh, I've got to see what else Jordan Peele does. And when I found out that he's making a horror film, I think it's called Us, and it's about, I'll link the trailer in the description, but it's about a family they're being chased by their doppelgangers who are trying to kill them or something. The trailer just sold it for me. Like, the story sounds a bit like, wait, what? What's that about? It's a bit weird, but no. The trailer sold it for me. The trailer's just so good. It kind of reminds me of like how good the trailer was for Strangers Pray at Night. That's another good film. It's one of my favourite films, actually, that one. Not because it's scary, because it's not. It's one of the tamest horror films ever. But cinematically and like visually, the directing of that film is superb. The music design and everything is just excuse me. It's beautiful. Like, Strangers Pray at Night is nothing short than visually stunning. It's just such a good film. And it's got a great vibe to it as well. It's just really good. It's very, very different to the first film. The only thing that kind of links it is the murderers. But anyway, yeah. Speaking of which, I recommend Strangers and Strangers Pray at Night. Both films are great. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Us at the cinema as well. Yeah. Well, as well as that, we've got a couple TV shows that... We've got Gotham that is actually ending this year. Luckily, even though it's been cancelled, at least they're, getting a full-length season. I think it's like 20 episodes they're getting to wrap up the show. I mean, at least they've, like, brought in the Joker now. I don't like, watch Gotham episode to episode. I kind of zone in and out. And I kind of zoned in when I heard that the Joker was being introduced onto the show, after I watched like the clip of him being morphed into the Joker. Like I was like, oh, that's a good scene. I'm gonna watch that episode. And I thought, Gotham's really good because I did try out season 1, but it was like, season 1 was alright, but it was like, it's not really for me. But I kind of like tune in and tune out a bit with the show here and there. But I think it's good. I think it's a really good show. Yeah, I think that's cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this when we were on the topic of Doctor Who. I'll quickly talk about this as well. So there's these rumours going around that Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall are going to be leaving the show after series 12. If that happens, I don't know, because Chris Chibnall promised in an interview that Jodie Whittaker will be the Doctor for a while. And it's like, well, that's not going to be the case. I hate to be, the bearer of bad news, but it's like, that can't really... I don't even feel like she got really that much limelight in Series 11. I mean, I suppose she did have a couple good scenes. And the scene from when she's in the Witchfinders, it was when she's tied up and she's talking to... I've forgotten his name, actually, the actor, but he was cool, isn't he? The actor's great in the Witchfinders. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, I feel like she needs more time, and, they're not going to be able to develop her character if they're going to get rid of her. If she's going to leave at the end of Series 12, it's just kind of, why? Come on. It's like, give us a break. Just, I don't know. It's difficult to explain, but it's just like, come on, just put your act together, the show. I feel like one of the things with like Doctor Who now is just, I feel like it feels like the BBC like don't actually like care about it as much as they used to. It's like a repeat of like the 80s, and then when it's being driven into the ground. I don't feel like that's what BBC are doing intentionally. I don't know. Just feels like there's so much more they could do, and I'm not, going to go out and say I have the answers, to fixing Doctor Who, but it's like sure, if you're going to cast an actress like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor and they're going to cast a female, it's like, yeah, that's a great idea, but you got to deliver. Like I feel like the actor is only as good as the writing, and I'm not saying that Chris Chibnall's a bad writer, but I feel like Chris Chibnall should focus on what he promised to focus on. Like, I hate to put it bluntly, but it's like he's put so much focus on like the companions and like how they felt when they met Rosa, and like how they felt when Grace died, and how they felt when they met the Doctor. But it's like, they've got to... It's the Doctor's show. Like, I feel like Chris Chibnall's missing the basic facts that, the Doctor's the main character, and you can't just have the Doctor being this MacGuffin. Well, not MacGuffin, but it's like... That's a bad, choice of word. But having the Doctor just be this plot device every episode, it's like the companion's journey through time and space. It's like... Yeah, that's cool to an extent, but you've got to have the Doctor, develop and, learn from their mistakes, and, like, it just feels like Chris Chibnall doesn't know how to write. I feel like Chris Chibnall's not a science fiction writer as well. Like, you get a lot of episodes where it's like, yeah, the characters feel human, if that makes sense, in contrast to Stephen Moffat. Like, the characters actually are written like human beings. They're not written as, cocky. They're not written like Clara, That's the perfect example, because Clara, one episode was, I don't know. I just think that I just feel like the Doctor Who could do a lot better, and it's just annoying. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm just trying to state my view, and I got a lot of comments actually recently on my collection video. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was one of my DVD collections, the ones that like gets like ridiculous views, and And I used to be like I used to capitalize on that. I was like, oh, collection videos do so well. I'm gonna post like two or three collection, DVD collections this year, which is kind of what I did. No, but seriously though, I'm getting loads of comments on like my old video of like DVD collection, 2017 or something, and it's like people are saying, wow, you had negative views on the show, and it's like, well, no, I didn't. Like, that's not really fair to say, because it's like you may have a negative opinion on an episode, and it's just like yeah, it may seem repetitive that, oh, I don't like this one, I don't like that one, I like this one, but most of these I don't like. It's like, that's not being negative, that's my opinion, like, and opinions change over time. And it's like I watched back my DVD collection, my first video on the channel, funnily enough, my DVD collection of 2016. It's like, oh wow, I filmed that in one take, and I edited it as it was, and it's just hilarious to watch back on, and I just laugh. But when I'm talking about the DVDs and I'm like pulling them out of the shelf, and I'm like, oh, okay, that one's alright, and so, oh, that one's shit, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, my opinions change, because recently I've come to really, I'm not sure if that's always been the case with me, but I've come to really respect the episode Fear Her, because the vibe of the episode, you can disagree if you want, you can call me like, oh, you've got the worst opinion in Doctor Who. Like, well, maybe I'll think of that of you if you let's see your DVD collection and see what your opinion in the episode is. No, but anyway, it's like, oh, Fear Her, because I quite like it, to be honest, because it's like, it's got a vibe of like the Virgin New Adventures with children disappearing and, monsters coming to life from a children's imagination. That's a very like Virgin New Adventure thing to do, because it's like, obviously, if you guys, anyone who doesn't know what the Virgin books are, they're the Seventh Doctor basically travelling. It's basically the Seventh Doctor extended adventures. Like, if you count them as canon, which I do, to be honest, I count them as canon. I don't have all the books. I don't have even half of them. But the ones I do have, I love. I absolutely adore them. Like White Darkness, I absolutely adore. Nightshade is probably my favourite Doctor Who book of all time. Iceberg, I quite like. It's the Cyberman one with written by David Banks, I think. Oh, and then, what was it? It was Vampire Science, I think the other one was, that I really like. A lot of them are really good. And I feel like Fear Her fits that category of just kind of mysterious and like, it's an original, like, not an original enemy, but an original sort of like concept shoved into a Doctor Who episode. It's like drawings coming to life and children like disappearing. Like, that's bloody genius. Like, I really like that. It's like, and you can say like, oh, well, the writing may be good, but the episode's shit. Like, you can apply that to anything really, but it's like, I quite like the episode. Like, there's nothing really wrong with it. I quite like, and I think it's funny to think. I'm thinking of Fear Her actually. Like, I'm going off on a tangent like so many times in this video, but it's like, it's set in 2012, and it's like, I saw a post on social media ages ago now, where it's like, when you watch a Doctor Who episode that's set in the future but is now in the past, because it's like, oh, because obviously Fear Her came out in like 2007, I think, 2006 or something, and it's like, oh, 2012, the 2012 Olympics in the UK, whoa, crazy stuff, and it's like, that was bloody what, like that was 7 years ago. The bloody 2012 Olympics, and it's like fuck, I feel old. I don't mean to swear, but it's like, wow, that really catches me off guard, like. But anyway, yeah, I mean, going back to like people saying I'm negative, it's like, I'm not trying to be, like, I'm just trying to state my opinion, and this channel really started with me like going like, hey, I like this episode, don't like that one. It's like, it just annoys me really. I know it shouldn't, because it's like, it's just people on the internet like commenting like, hey, your videos suck, or it's like, hey, your opinions suck, and it's like, come on. It's like, it's that mentality that I've come to, agree with really, like, even now more than ever, where it's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. Don't say anything. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to share my opinion on Doctor Who. That's what this channel is for, and I'm going to continue to do that. I don't care. Like, if people don't like my opinion, it's like, you can just Sod off. Why are you even watching my videos? No, but seriously. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to rant. Didn't even tend to have this video be a rant video. I'm just, you know. But anyway, yeah, like, going back to the DVD collection video, it's like, I was looking at my opinion, and I think somewhere I said that I didn't like the Aztecs or anything, but it's like, I've come to love the Aztecs. And and the Romans as well. I love the Romans. And I recently listened to the Mythmakers on audio, or at least the existing ones. Well, that doesn't make sense. No, but you know what I mean? Like, I recently listened to it. It's like, oh, the Mythmakers is good, man. And I really, really desperately want to experience the Highlanders. And I've just come to realise, like, just like in the past, like maybe half a year or so, I love historical stories. Like, especially after, I think the Rosa episode kind of opened my eyes to that, because it's like, you don't need like bog-eyed monsters or, you know, robots to make a Doctor Who episode good. I kind of like the idea that the Doctor kind of travels to like human history and then gets caught up in real events in history, like in Rosa. It's a great example, actually, because that's one that a lot of people have watched, and it's like, well, I know that there's like this mixture of like, I've forgotten his name, but the racist guy who travels in time to try to get rid of the boycott or whatever, tries to reverse time, and it's like, oh, let's get rid of Rosa so that, you know, so that blacks aren't as equal as whites in society. And it's like, well, you add the sci-fi gobbledygook to Rosa, but it's still a historical story, and I love it, because it's like, I love the whole throw the Doctor into human history at some point, like pinpoint somewhere in human history, and it's like, and see how she deals in that scenario, see how the Doctor deals in that scenario, like, and with her companions at the time. And I love that, and I love how they focused on Ryan and Yaz and how they dealt with it, really, and obviously how Graham dealt with it, especially when he was on the bus. That was such a powerful scene, because it was like, obviously he loves Grace, and before Grace died, and obviously Grace was black, and she was a strong believer and supporter of Rosa and her beliefs and all that. So I think it's great. I think it's an amazing sort of like way of telling a story. I love it. I love historical stories. And when I was looking at my opinion on Aztecs and saying how it dragged and how I didn't like the Romans, it's like, oh, it kind of shocks me more than anything, because it's like wow, because like, and as well as that, like, I remember somewhere saying to someone, or maybe it being in a video, where I was like, Dalek Invasion Earth, it really drags. I've come to really respect like Hartnell's era, like maybe better late than never, I guess, but it's like, and not even the fact that it's like, oh, he was the first Doctor, and you have to respect him, because without him you wouldn't have Doctor Who today. And you hear that from like everyone, really. I mean, if you don't hear that from a Doctor Who fan, are they really a Doctor Who fan? It's like, but going deeper than that, it's like, some of the episodes in there are superb. Like, sure, they may be longer than they need to be, but if you think about like episode like the Keys of Marinus, I watched, like, it was probably the last classic episode that I actually watched, which was actually a while ago now. I should watch more classic. When here I am saying that, oh, I don't have the motivation or time to, but it's like, but yeah, Keys of Marinus is like a mini Key to Time, and I love that, and I really enjoyed the Keys of Marinus as well, and yeah, and I did, I had a conversation with Dylan like quite a while ago now, but it was like, he didn't like the Planet of Evil, but it's like, when I watched it, it was just a random day at college, and I went home and I just stuck it on the telly, and I was hooked. I love the Planet of Evil. I only watched it once, bearing in mind, so it might have been just a crappy day and it cheered me up. But either way, like, I loved Planet of Evil, and I felt like that cliffhanger where the Doctor is freeze framed as he's falling in the pit. That was hilarious. It made me laugh when it just freeze framed him as he was like falling in the pit. Anyway, yeah, that was good. I love Planet of Evil. I think all of the early Tom Bakers are brilliant. I think that's not a hidden fact. I think everybody likes at least like the majority of the early Tom Baker stuff. Brain and Morbius slightly overrated in my opinion, but I'm still a fan of Frankenstein, which is odd, because it's like, Brain and Morbius is meh, but Frankenstein is great. But anyway, so yeah, I think that yeah. Oh, we've been going on for half an hour. Bloody hell. I'm gonna wrap this up in a minute, but I'm gonna chat a little bit more. But yeah, I do think that I think it's good that I can safely say that my opinion was this, and I don't mean to be seem pessimistic. I'm just trying to be realistic. Like I like Doctor Who, and I always will, and I wouldn't have made a fucking YouTube channel about my favourite show if it wasn't my favourite show. And it will always be my favourite show. And in my opinion, the best Doctor Who fan is the fan that is brave enough to say, yeah, the show could be better. This is how we can make the show better. I feel like that is the best Doctor Who fan. I think that's, in my opinion, that's what I believe. And I feel like I'm going to support it to the end. I will never stop watching Doctor Who unless something catastrophic happened to the show and I was like, nah, no, never again. I don't think that will happen though. I don't think anything can stop me from watching Doctor Who. I always will support it. And it just, there are sometimes points where I'm like, meh, the show could be better, and I'm like, I've got a low point in it. But I think even talking about it, talking about the show in these videos, I feel like I get a bit more enthusiastic about it and talking about it. I think the fact is, what we need to try to do this year, considering we haven't got Doctor Who, we need to try to talk about it more, because otherwise it will kind of fade from our minds and we'll forget about it. And when it comes to Series 12, no one will have any motivation to watch it. Well, they will, but it's they won't have as enthusiasm for it, at least. And it's I'm going to try my best to watch do as much Doctor Who as I can this year, and hopefully that will translate in the amount of videos I post. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, that will conclude this podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's nice to just chat to the camera again. I haven't done it in a while. Hopefully I'll get a proper webcam set up so that it faces my actual backdrop for future videos. That's what I'm hoping. I hoped to do that for my next solo podcast, but that wasn't the case, I'm afraid. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So that'll do it. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.